Listen to me clearly. Celebration is a reinforcement tool, not ego. You do not need permission to acknowledge your progress.
Let me ask you something real quick. Have you ever achieved something and then immediately thought to yourself, maybe I shouldn't be too excited about this? Or worse, you were excited, but then you toned it down because you could feel the room change. Social psychology research on tall poppy syndrome shows people in many cultures, specifically Australia, UK, or even Scandinavia, face penalties for visibly outperforming peers, which trains people to downplay success. Now let's talk about tall poppy and what that means. Tall poppy describes the social tendency to criticize, resent, or even cut down people who stand out due to their success, achievements, or even wealth. It's referenced as the poppy that grows too tall gets cut down. And here's the truth about all of this that most people won't say out loud. A lot of people are not afraid of your success. They're afraid of how your success exposes what they feel stuck in. And without even realizing it, you start shrinking your joy to keep other people comfortable. But listen to me clearly. Your joy is not something you need permission. So today's topic, we talk about shrinking to make others feel comfortable. Because we should be able to celebrate our wins, but we've all been hit with the hard truth that your authenticity and your success can bring unwanted consequences. So what do? We stay silent, only share with those that we know will celebrate with us or that are genuinely happy for us. And even worse, just move on to the next assignment with no wins. So in today's video, I share 4 tips to help rid the self-sabotage because celebrating is a healthy part of life that you deserve to have. This usually doesn't come from arrogance. It comes from care. You care about people and you don't want to seem insensitive. You don't want to come off as too much. You don't want to trigger comparison or even jealousy. So what do? You start minimizing. You downplay the promotion. You soften the announcement. You delay the celebration. You say things like, it's not even that big of a deal when it really is. And if you were being honest, sometimes you don't even share it at all. And I want to normalize something here. This is a learned behavioral response. In research terms, and this connects directly to identity development work, regulate their expressions of success based on perceived social safety. In simple terms, you adjust your joy to match the emotional temperature of the room. But the problem is, your life doesn't grow in rooms where you keep shrinking yourself. Now, if you made it this far in the video, I'm sure you've thought of someone close to you that could very well benefit from this message. So take a moment and share it with them. I've learned that we are all on some form of a journey, and it's less lonely if we do it together. So let's talk about what this costs you, because it doesn't feel dramatic in the moment. It feels small, right? But over time, it adds up. First, your confidence takes a hit because your brain starts associating success with hesitation instead of celebration. Second, you reinforce the idea that your wins are too much, even when you worked for them. Third, and this one is subtle but powerful, you start disconnecting from your own growth. You are living it, but you are not fully experiencing it. And here's the part that most people don't expect. When you don't allow yourself to celebrate, you don't just reduce your joy, you reduce your momentum. Because celebration is not arrogance, it's reinforcement. It tells your nervous system, this is progress. Keep going. And without it, your growth feels like exhaustion instead of expansion. And over time, you feel stuck even when you're moving. So I have a quick story for you. There was a time in my career when I learned a lesson about success that I didn't really expect to learn from a promotion. And honestly, it took me a while to understand what was really happening. Because sometimes the hardest part about winning isn't the work it took to win. It's figuring out how to keep standing in your win when you realize that somebody else isn't comfortable with it. So let me take you back. At this time in my career, I was working for a company where I had a colleague who was also a very strong performer. We were both key players, We both worked hard. We both knew what we brought to the table. And eventually, an opportunity for a promotion came up. Now, this wasn't a situation where someone just picks their favorite. There was a process because in order to receive the promotion, you had to take a test. And the agreement was clear. The person with the highest test score would receive the promotion. So my colleague and I both decided to go for it. And here's what I remember most. Before we even took that test, we had a conversation. We talked about the fact that we were both strong candidates. We talked about the fact that only one of us could get the actual promotion. And we agreed, regardless of who got it, we would still support each other. And that part matters because we weren't enemies. There wasn't some big competition where we were secretly trying to tear each other down. We respected each other. We worked well together. And we both understood that one person's advancement did not erase the other person's value. So we both took the test and then we waited. And eventually the results came back. And I had the highest score. I got the promotion. I was promoted to store manager. And I was very proud of myself. I had worked hard for it. I had taken the test. I had performed well. And I had earned the position according to the exact process that had been established. There wasn't anything that needed to be apologized for. There wasn't anything to explain in any way. I won. And then, about a week later, I found out that my colleague had put in his resignation. He was leaving the company. And I remember thinking, wait, what just happened here? Because we talked about this. We had agreed that regardless of who got the promotion, we would support each other. And now, 1 week after I received the promotion, he was leaving. Now, let me be very careful here. I do not know exactly what happened to him. And I can't tell you he left because I got the promotion. Maybe there were other things going on. Maybe he had already been thinking about leaving. Maybe the promotion was the final piece of decision that he had already made. I don't know. And I don't want to create a story about someone else's intentions that I can't prove. But what I do know is that experience taught me some things. It taught me how quickly success can change the dynamics. And more importantly, it taught me how tempting it can be to make yourself smaller when you sense that your success has made someone else uncomfortable. So here's the shift. I want you to really sit with this. Your joy is not a subtraction from someone else's life. Let me say that again. Your joy is not a subtraction from someone else's life. It's not. You are not taking something away from someone else by acknowledging what you've built. Different people are in different seasons, different times, different responsibilities, even different starting points. And when you fully own your wins, you don't have to validate yourself. You model possibility for someone else, even if they don't say it, even if they resist it at first. Your growth can be uncomfortable for others and still be completely valid for you. But things can exist at the same time. Now, the fact that you've made it this far in the video, I want to take a moment and pause and simply say thank you. There is so much content here on YouTube, but the fact that you took time to watch my content really gives me joy. It lets me know that the content I'm making is making a difference in someone's life. So I pause to say thank you. So let's make this practical. Here are 4 ways that you can stop shrinking your joy. Number 1, name the win out loud. Not, it was nothing. Not, it just happened. Clearly say it. I worked hard for this. I earned this. I am proud of this. Even if your voice shakes a little. Number 2, separate empathy from suppression. You can care about people without minimizing yourself. Their journey is real, and so is yours. Number 3, practice controlled celebration. This doesn't mean performative posting. It means intentional acknowledgement. Journal it. Share it with someone safe. Reflect on what it took you to get there. Let your brain take the time to register it. Number 4, stop asking for emotional permission. This is a big one. You don't need everyone to be comfortable with your growth for it to be valid. You need to stop abandoning it. And let me ask you something real. When was the last time that you fully celebrated something without immediately shrinking it after? Be honest with yourself. Drop it in the comments. Tell me, what win have you been minimizing lately? Let's learn to normalize not shrinking anymore, because you are not behind. You are just getting used to not dimming yourself in rooms that taught you to. And chances are, someone else reading your comment has been carrying that exact same thing. And if you're not ready to share your comment yet, that's okay. Consider sharing a simple thumbs up. That lets me know that you are with me, that you are receiving this message, and that you are working to take the proper next steps. And by giving a simple thumbs up, maybe someone else realizes that they are not alone. And that is my total mission here, for us all to know that we do not have to take on this journey alone. Before we close, here is what I want you to hold on to. Your joy is not harmful to other people's journey. Minimizing your wins weakens your confidence over time. Celebration is a reinforcement tool for growth, not ego. And you do not need permission to acknowledge your progress. If this is the kind of conversation that you've been looking for, subscribe and join us back here each week. Also consider watching the video on the screen. It's an opportunity to identify key strategies to continue to help you grow your mindset, because we are all chasing success. We are learning to build lives that we actually have the capacity to live. So until next time, protect your peace, honor your capacity, and give yourself permission to be human. Thank you for watching.